Hi, Eddie here. At a Mindful Emergence, what Margaret and I do is offer mindfulness, movement, and breathing practices for your healing and spiritual transformation. We're in the waking up business, and most of our work is with plant medicine. And you may know this that one of our major offerings is helping people prepare for and integrate intentional therapeutic use of psilocybin mushrooms for their own healing. And this video is going to talk about how we prepare people for intentional psychedelic journeys. So, first of all, one thing that we do that's unusual is we offer three preparation sessions, which is pretty much unheard of. But we feel very strongly that if any of us are going to have maximum benefit from intentionally using these incredible plant medicines, that one of the best ways to do that is to be very, very well prepared, to know what to expect, to make sure that there's a proper set and setting, and that individuals who are doing this have skills that they can use so that they can experience this in the best, most meaningful way. So, the first preparation session that we do is really about trust building. The most important factor for not having a bad trip is to feel safe, to make sure that when you take these mind expanding medicines, that you know that you're going to be supported. And one of the real important factors for safety is, are the people who are sitting for me prepared? Are they knowledgeable? Are they experienced? Do they know what the hell they're doing? Because I'm putting so much trust in them. So presumably, if they've gotten to this stage where they've decided to work with us, much of that trust has already been built. But there's more that we can do to help people make sure that they're going to be supported and safe through this experience. So we talk about what's their intention. Why are they using psilocybin medicine now? What's this all about? What's their hopes, their dreams, their fears, their concerns? And of course, initially, before people even get to this point, we've done a very thorough and careful screening, looking at medical history, contraindications as they're called, and any concerns that might get in the way of having an experience. But we continue that process in this first preparation session. One of the things that we do in that first session is we talk about the arc of the day. What's it going to be like to take this medicine? How's it going to feel when it starts coming on? What might they expect? And so on. What kind of support can they expect to get from us? So we talk about that. So there's no surprises, or at least minimal surprises during that experience. We talk about the fact that at the end of the journey, they're going to get fed and what they're going to eat. We're going to talk about dosing, how much medicine to take, what are they hoping to achieve. So we cover all of these, a lot of sort of nuts and bolts, basic issues and questions. But that at the end of that hour, hopefully they have a pretty good idea what's going to happen on the day of the journey. Now, first of all, I should also mention, well, not first of all, but I should also mention that these three preparation sessions can be done for the most part both virtually and in person, although the third prep session is ideally done in person. I'll explain more when we get there. So if somebody is living in California or Ohio, and people have come that far to work with us, those first two prep sessions can very easily be done on Zoom. All right. The second prep session is skill building. All right. So, one of the things that gets overlooked a lot of times in preparation is, what are some ways that you can work with an experience that you're having, especially if it's difficult. And this is where the mindfulness, movement, and breathing practices come in. So, how does the mindfulness come in? So we talk to people about, do they have any kind of meditation practice or anything that they do that's contemplative? Helping them understand that whatever experiences arises in the mind is not necessarily real. to talk to them about cultivating some sense of dual awareness so that they can observe their experience both in the body and in the mind with a certain amount of detachment. So they don't necessarily have to believe every thought that's coming through their head, especially the fearful ones. Movement. Bringing movement into the experience can be very, very helpful in terms of working with the energy, moving the energy. Some people find that they are like a stone Buddha statue, and that's perfect. Some people have to get up and move or move in their recliner or on the couch or wherever they are. And movement can be very useful for lifting the energy if they feel stuck or bringing the energy down if they feel a bit uh, stressed, okay, just feeling a bit fearful. The other thing is breath. Breath is our superpower. And there are ways of breathing that can be incredibly helpful. For example, on the come up or launch, when people take their psilocybin, it's not unusual to have some discomfort in the abdominal area through here as the body is starting to break down and assimilate this medicine. And sometimes there's a bit of an increase in the heart rate. Blood pressure may go up just a tiny bit. And this is no more than probably a walk around the block. But if someone is sitting there and they're experiencing this, it can be very easy to interpret that as anxiety because it can feel like that in the body. So here's a technique that can be used that's very simple, very effective. We simply take a basic inhale, just breathing in through the nose, and then lengthen the exhale. So it's as simple as doing this. What that does is it helps us come down into the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps us ground and helps us calm ourselves. And just a few of those breaths in any kind of difficult experience can make a big difference. Also, we can use breath again to lift the energy, just as we did with movement. So, you're learning these breathing techniques can be very good. Another thing that's often added into the skill building is IFS, internal family systems. And there's a whole video on our channel. We interviewed Heather Smith, who trains people in IFS, and Margaret was trained by her. So, internal family systems is a wonderful technique, a compassionate approach to working with our parts. All right, this has got nothing to do with our nuclear family or anything like that. The family's inside us, and we have these different parts that can run the show and compete for attention and sometimes become problematic. And IFS is a technique that allows us to work with those skillfully. And many of the people that come to us have already worked with a therapist or other kind of mental health professional where they've been introduced to IFS. So when they come and Margaret talks to them about their parts and how to prepare their parts for this interesting experience, they really welcome that. So all of these different skills can be extremely useful when it comes time for the day of the journey, and they also can be used in integration. So that's the beauty. A lot of what happens that's helpful in integration is introduced and brought to the table in the preparation. So a really good integration can be uh, supported by really good preparation. Okay. So all of those are done in the second preparation session. The third preparation session, which is done in most of the cases, although it is optional, is what is known as holotropic breath work. Now, we call it integrative breath work, and I'll explain why. Holotropic breath work was introduced in the 70s by Stan and Christina Groff as a way of taking people into expanded states without using any kind of psychedelic. Stan Groff had worked with LSD throughout the 50s and 60s therapeutically when it was still legal. He did this in the Czech Republic, he did this in the United States, and then it became illegal, went to Schedule 1 in 1970, thanks to Nixon and his lunacy. And so it was off the table, and he developed holotropic breath work. But Stan did it in a full day workshop with dozens and dozens of people. We do it primarily individually, although we do some group sessions. And what integrative breath work does, and we call it that because we're not following the traditional all-day workshop model. What integrative breath work does is it takes us into expanded states using just our breath and a specifically designed playlist that's provided that's about an hour long. I have got a lot of videos on breath work on this channel. You can go and look at those. There's one specifically on how to have a psychedelic experience without using psychedelics. It talks about breath work. And the beauty of this is that in and of itself, this breath work can really bring up a lot of good stuff for us to work with. But in addition to that, it's also a great trial run or a great foundation before the journey. So that especially for people who've had no experience with any kind of psychedelics, this might be that introduction, that opportunity to step into some expanded states on a gentler way that they have 100% control of so that they can experience this prior to actually doing a journey. And of course, it builds even more trust with us when people can let go like that in a breathwork session. So, those are the three preparation sessions. Sometimes they're modified depending on individuals' needs. There's been some people who haven't done breath work, maybe because they've got some respiratory issues, or it's difficult for them to breathe in a faster, deeper way, so that we make modifications. But ultimately, when it comes time for the journey, our intention is that people are ready. They're excited. They want to step into this. They want to explore what this medicine can bring to us and for us. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, obviously you can reach out to us. You can schedule a consultation with us anytime on our website. You just click on that little box that says schedule a free Zoom call, and we'll take some time, talk to you about our program, see if this is a fit for you. And of course, you can always reach out with any questions. You can leave comments with this video and check out some of our other videos. I've uploaded a whole bunch of them recently on different plant medicines and psychedelics. And I think there's some really good content in there because I found some really good people to talk to who know what the hell they're talking about. So thanks for watching this, and we'll see you next time.